It's important for Americans to think about the sacrifices that our U.S. troops make every day. But on Memorial Day in particular, we set aside time to think about the troops who've given the ultimate sacrifice and were killed in combat. We're here at the National Museum of the United States Army in Fort Belvoir, Virginia, where we hear some stories about soldiers who gave everything.
So behind me are 41 stainless steel pylons that tell different stories of soldiers who served over time. And the story I want to talk about belongs to First Lieutenant Ashley White Stumpf. She's a National Guard soldier from North Carolina, and she volunteered to be part of the cultural support team in Afghanistan. And as a female, that gave her greater access to Afghan women and children to support her mission. Unfortunately, during operation in Kandahar, Afghanistan, she was killed as part of an IED explosion. But her service and her sacrifice and her commitment sort of paved the way for other female soldiers to participate during battle and war in Afghanistan. So we remember her story and her sacrifice through this pylon. So visitors who come can engage and personalize with her story and come away with a deeper appreciation for not only what she did, but other women have served in the Army. So on October 9th, 1993, Super 6-1, which is the call sign for the Black Hawk helicopter that went down during the Battle of Mogadishu. This was the first helicopter to be shot down by a rocket-propelled grenade, turning sort of this raid to capture a key warlord into sort of a grueling two-day battle. So you can see the metal, the twisted metal, and the rust sort of represents kind of, what soldiers went through, not only during that crash, but throughout the whole battle. This is the co-pilot's engine for the Black Hawk. So in the initial crash site, obviously it was there for multiple years, and it took a while, to locate where the engine and pieces of the helicopter were, and then to figure out how to repatriate it back into the United States. So it's important to acquire these pieces to help tell that story. And so you can see, the result of the crash, what it did to the engine, and what it did to the airframe, and to everything that's on that Black Hawk, just to give you an idea of what those soldiers went through on that initial crash. So getting this piece back, repatriating it back to the United States to be put on display here allows visitors to get closer to the story, to understand what they went through and what that battle was about, but also more importantly, the sort of the service and the sacrifice those soldiers made during that battle. So the rifle behind me belonged to Private Martin Teehan. He was a soldier with the 508th Parachute Infantry Regiment who jumped on D-Day into Normandy, France. He survived the landing, but shortly thereafter was killed. But what's unique about this artifact is that it was discovered 72 years later by a French farmer who then notified a French officer who got in contact with the United States Army. So in 2016, this rifle was given back to the Army, taken under the care of then Chief of Staff of the Army, General Mark Milley, who actually had this rifle on display inside his office until it was donated to the museum to be put on display here. And what's really unique is his name, M. Teehan, is etched into the butt of the rifle. So you have this strong connection to the soldier with the rifle, but then this powerful story of how this artifact survived and able to be put in the museum so Teehan's story could become known. So on display we have PFC Weldon Miles' Purple Heart. He was killed in combat on Hill 724 as part of the Battle of Dak To on November 11th, 1967. There was gruesome fighting on that hill where Americans engaged the enemy, and he was young, 19 years old. Having this Purple Heart on display is a testament to the sacrifice of not only PFC Miles, but all soldiers who served in the United States Army. So as we honor those soldiers on Memorial Day, we have to listen, look, and find out his stories by coming to this museum, hearing those stories, seeing the artifacts that are directly related to those soldiers is very, very important.
The National Museum of the United States Army is open on Memorial Day for the first time this year. If you'd like to visit, the museum will be offering a moment of silence at 10 a.m. There's also plenty more to see and learn about the Army here at the museum.